You guys asked for it and now it's here. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn your 2021 X-Wing into this epic Rebel gunship. Now, if you watch the original overview video, you know that my model is based on a build that's published on Rebrickable by Dannyfordjohnson. So because my model is incredibly similar to his original one, I'm not going to show you guys a tutorial from the ground up. He's already made a tutorial for the majority of this craft, and I don't want to take away from that. His tutorial is already good enough, and I don't need to remake somebody else's tutorial. But I am, of course, still going to show you guys how to turn your Rebel gunship into this one you see before you. The Rebrickable link is published in the description below, and I want you guys to follow that tutorial up until step 119, complete that step, and then stop. When I was originally building this craft, I completed step 119, and then that's when I stopped and started doing my own thing. I didn't follow the tutorial anymore from that point. So go ahead and click the link down below and start that tutorial, and then we'll move on to my mods. A quick warning ahead of time, I do believe I've structured all the different segments of this video, so any pieces that you must peel off pre-existing structures and are going to reuse later, they're already peeled off and available for use by the time we get to that section. Now there might be a few cases here or there where the piece isn't quite peeled off yet and you can't find it because it's already in use on the craft, so I encourage you guys to watch this video full way through at least once, so you're familiar with all the processes and where the pieces come from. Now that you guys have completed step 119, let's go ahead and turn your gunship into what you see before you. So you finished step 119 and now your gunship should be wingless. Now I know mine on screen looks a little bit different, but of course I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So after peeling off those top plates, let's head back to the instructions and go roughly to about step 37. That's when those axle pieces you guys added in earlier were added on, and you can see on my model I have 4 extra 1x2 yellow Technic axle bricks. Now these ones up at the front, go ahead and push them all the way up to the front and they're going to stay locked in place there. These ones in the rear, if you have these leftover 1x2 axle covers, go ahead and toss those on there. But if not, just position them roughly right here and we'll go ahead and lock them in place later. Now we're going to go ahead and attach the top plates again, but we're going to do a little bit of modification from what Dannyfordjohnson had you do on the original tutorial. And really quickly, on the tutorial, you guys should have a gray piece right here, but for some reason I guess I have a red one, but don't worry, it won't affect anything. Now for the rear armor plating, go ahead and position these tan bricks on the bottom like so. And now you should have a 1x4 space sticking out on the back, and we're going to go ahead and add these bricks in their place. This is what it should be looking like now, and then go ahead and add 2 white 1x1s on the back here. And then on the rear section, we're going to go ahead and ram this all the way up to that gray piece you guys have right here, and then just attach it onto the studs. Now for the front half of your top armor plating, on the underside, go ahead and position these plates like so to reinforce the structure. And now on the top armor plating here, go ahead and position this jumper and this 1x2 round tile here. And then we're going to assemble 2 of these upside down skis here. Go ahead and toss them 1 stud ahead of that round plate we put in earlier. And then we're going to get 1 more dark gray jumper, attach that onto that circular tile. And then 1 white radar dish piece is going to go right on top of that. And now the final 2 pieces you'll need to modify the top plate are these smooth pieces here, and go ahead and attach them like so. Now you've successfully modified your top armor plate, and we can go ahead and attach it on here. And now you've successfully modified the top of your Rebel gunship. Now we're inside the trooper/personnel area, and the first things we're going to do is peel off these side struts that currently work as supports on your model. After removing your side struts, go ahead and set them aside because we're going to modify them later so they look like how they do on mine. So after removing those struts, I want you guys to compare your trooper bay to what mine looks like right now. You guys should have a few extra detail pieces just lining down the middle of the craft here. I want you to peel off anything you don't see before you, and then after peeling off everything you don't see, go ahead and add in these light gray 1x2 plates here. These 2 plates are going to act as the base for the structural support that we're about to build. Now that we built our structural support, let's go ahead and toss it in the trooper bay of our gunship. Line up those slope bricks on those light gray plates we put in earlier, and then you'll see that that spring-loaded shooter brick that was on top lines up with those Technic axles that weren't quite lined up before, but now they are. And then once you've added in this structural support here, you now have a structurally sound rear end trooper bay. Now before we modify the side struts and reattach them to the craft, go ahead and add these 2 smooth curved bricks right here to help smooth out this top section. And make sure you do it on both sides as well. Once you do that, grab the 2 struts that you peeled off, and on the original build, you're going to be using some hard angle white pieces here. For my modifications, you're going to swap those out for these smooth curved bricks here. And then on the exposed studs here, go ahead and add this Technic piece on top, and then you've modified your side struts to look just like mine. But before we reattach them, you guys will notice I have these side plates sticking out that you guys don't have yet. So we're gonna go ahead and flip the craft over, and then this is how the bottom plating looks on my ship. I want you guys to recreate that with the pieces you have. I believe all of them should be available. So go ahead and arrange your plates as such and make sure you include the tan jumpers here. And then those smooth plates with studs only on one side will help support those side struts once we reattach them. And then make sure your struts are in the right position and go ahead and reattach them exactly where you had them earlier. Push them down on the bottom so they're resting on that plate. And now you've reattached your struts, no problem. So now you successfully reinforced the structure and skeleton for your entire Rebel gunship, and you can even push down on this section a little and it won't cave in or break on itself. Now that we completed the mods with the rear end trooper bay and we have a few more pieces available, we're going to go ahead and move on to the front of the craft. So on the front of the ship, you can see mine is ever so slightly different from yours. It's only going to be a few pieces that we have to change up here or there. The first thing you guys need to do is peel off that dish piece and the cannons on top, but leave that 1x1 white piece there. Then after removing that front cannon, you guys should have a large 1x4 angled wedge brick sitting right here. We're going to go ahead and remove that, and then in the empty space that's beneath it, we're going to use these 6 pieces on both sides to fill out that detail. Firstly, we're going to grab this 1x3 and the Stark Gray grill piece, slap that on there like so. We'll go ahead and attach it to the side of the craft. Then you're going to take these 2 white angled pieces that are hollow in the middle, and then we're going to attach it just next to that 1x3 plate we just put on there. And then I bet you can guess where these are going to go. It's going to go in between those white pieces and that thicker armor plating here. And that's pretty much all I've done to the front of this craft. I already liked how it looked in the beginning. I just wasn't a huge fan of the cannons, and I wanted to change up this detail to help smooth out the transition from this skinny portion to this thicker portion. And now we've done just that, and I believe the last thing we have to cover are the wings at the back. Like I mentioned earlier, I never actually finished the original tutorial full way through. I stopped at step 119 just like you guys did. And then from there, I decided to make my own wing design and then do the few other upgrades that we've done on the ship there. So because this is an all original build and not a modification of what was already done, we're going to go ahead and go to a traditional tutorial format to make it easy for you guys. These wings are symmetrical, so I'm just going to build one side and then you guys can mirror the process for the other side. Alrighty guys, so we finished modifying the gunship and reinforcing the internals, and we finished our wing builds, so let's go ahead and attach them together now. You're going to go ahead and attach these 4 light gray anti-studs to these 4 studs right here, using those 2 1x1 white pieces and then this Technic brick here. After attaching them, it should be lined up like so, and then now you've completely finished your Rebel gunship. Alrighty guys, well that pretty much completes the tutorial for the Rebel gunship. Of course, like in the original video, I have to give credit to Dannyfordjohnson for making the basis of what this idea has become. I hope it was structured easy enough that all the pieces were available to you when you needed them and you didn't have to skip ahead or skip around in the video. And again, thank you guys so much for your support on the original build. I couldn't imagine it turned out like it did, but I'm so happy you guys were happy with it and wanted a tutorial. So after a tiny bit of waiting, here it is. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, fellas.